What's funny is I'm sitting here as an anarchist trying to do away with the council of governments and all this stuff over here, and I'm discussing how in the hell y'all gonna get more people involved. Ain't that something? Yeah. So that's what happens when an anarchist goes to a council of governments meeting. Yeah. The other night, Kershaw County Council was meeting, but at the same time, the Council of Governments was having a meeting on their public survey, community public participation survey. And the meeting was kind of canceled because nobody showed up. They didn't realize there was a conflict and all. So there was only 4 people in the room. Myself, John, who is a new member of the Council of Governments, just started in January. Then we have Sylvia, who is the liaison for the Council of Governments, and her sidekick, and I can't remember her name, from the Council of Governments, formerly in banking for 25 years. And then we have another lady who is from DHEC and Live Well Kershaw. So there are 3 basically quasi-government employees there and 1 unelected member of the Council of Governments, and yours truly, the anarchist. And although there wasn't any public presentation or anything like that, I thought I'd give y'all an idea and just put up this whole conversation, because the conversation that we had was very interesting. At one point in here, my camera automatically shut off and there's a gap in there, and I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. So kick back, relax, and just play this in the background, and maybe you'll find it as interesting as I did.
It's kind of not understood what's going on.
Right.
So I'll explain. So the way it works is we actually do what's called the needs assessment public hearings every year. Since 2020, we've been doing them virtually because of COVID. The purpose of doing these meetings is for the purpose of CDBG grants, which is community development block grants, home funds, as well as what else? Like EDA, economic development funds. That's the whole purpose of this. What I do is I normally would break down what we call the citizen participation plan. Every county and every city, town has a citizen participation plan, and the purpose of that plan is basically to help the community members understand what their rights are when it comes to things like public hearings, grants being applied for, grants being open, awarded, grants being closed, basically just letting everyone understand what their rights are in that. These needs assessments are required by Department of Commerce in order for you to file, apply for a grant. So we actually did one last year. It was virtual for Kershaw, and we were able to get the fire truck for the fire, the fire district in Bethune.
Yeah.
So
that was $495,000 or something like that. Yeah.
Yep, like $494.
Yeah. And some change. Yeah.
Right.
For one fire truck?
Yes, ma'am.
By the way, that's probably kind of, I don't want to say
Well, that
cheap,
was on sale.
Thank you, Jeff.
And understand too, it doesn't include anything that you that has to be attached. So
the rigging and stuff. That's all.
Anything removable.
Yeah, it's
everything has to be
bare
attached.
bones. But those things are hot. They're handmade, basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did not know.
Yeah.
Well, does the survey go into the comprehensive plan?
So
in that way?
Absolutely. So what happens is we'll take the survey 2 ways, right? When I sit down and have the conversation in the public hearing, we'll take that information down, And then also what we do is we have an actual survey. It was supposed to be on the Kershaw website. I'm not sure if it is
I
or
haven't
not.
seen it yet. I
Okay.
was looking for it.
So-
The other day when I called Danny about the conflict of when the meeting was and all, he didn't even know about you having this meeting. And so that kind of started a ball to find out what was going on. And he sent me a link that had basically a digital copy of the public hearing notice that was in the Chronicle. And I said, well, where's the public survey and all that?
Yeah.
I
So
don't know where any of
bought
that
them.
is.
I bought paper surveys,
Right.
and they have them in the room in there because I didn't know. Anyways, we scheduled this back in December. This was scheduled back in December, but unfortunately, I think we had some people leave, maybe that we scheduled the meeting with, and so
Well, the secretary, the
Okay.
council secretary retired.
okay,
And according to Danny, she used to put in the calendar in brown what she was.
Oh, Mary-
what was
Mary-
booked.
Mary retired?
Sigler,
Yeah,
yes.
and
Okay.
What a great
so and for some reason it didn't click in her head that we're going back to the 2 meetings a month.
Oh, okay,
Because
okay.
it just
it's
got
always-
voted, it
it's
just got
always-
voted on 2 weeks ago, but yeah.
Oh,
Well, but
okay,
I mean,
okay,
it would
I
have
see.
gone
Oh, yeah,
kinda
yeah,
like
yeah,
that
but
anyway
she did-
because
yeah.
it was already an ordinance.
Right.
Okay,
But
okay.
so she didn't make that connection, and for some reason in that change up, Danny never called it and Lauren never called it. I was the only one that called it at that point.
Oh, okay, okay.
And that's why that ball started rolling.
And that's why we're
That's
meeting,
fine.
that's why it's the same day, so, you know.
Okay, it's no worries. We already said that we were going to.
Well, thanks for that, that's, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm just pardon my French, I'm just a dumbass with a laptop. Okay?
No, it's no worries. We already said that, you know, when you have it last minute like this, it's hard to pull it back, you know.
Yeah.
It's already been in the paper.
Yeah, the bullet's
so,
gone out the
you know,
gun.
Yeah.
But we will absolutely reschedule it because of the fact the idea is to have the community here. And so what we were going to do is we were going to talk to the council members and pass out that stuff so that they could be handing it out to people as well. When we went to Lee County, we had between 50 and 60 people show up.
That's great.
Yeah, we were not prepared. We were not prepared for it, but we did have some council members there, and the idea is that, you know, our council members can help too, right? They can say, hey, we got a public hearing coming up on such and such date, so.
Get the word out.
yes.
yeah.
What was surprising to me, I guess I would say, is that none of the councilmen that were on the COG itself, I think that's Sammy and Julian at the time, neither one of them mentioned it at any of the council meetings. Even the December, there was only one. But it's almost like they didn't even know.
Right.
So
Well, I've been on the COG for 4 months.
right.
And I was really supposed to come on in January. I was telling her that I actually came on 4 months early, you know, just someone had left or something, I can't remember. But I didn't know about it till Friday,
Right.
you know, and I just think it's one of those, with Mary retiring, that,
Yeah. That's what I was kind of
Right,
saying.
you're dead on that. You're dead on that with her
But I'm
retiring.
all the time picking.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I pick. We're supposed to stay vigilant, and it's aggravating as all crap. But
He's very involved in our community. And,
Well, that's a good thing. But I will absolutely tell you, I will be very transparent and tell you one of the things. So we had a similar situation happen where we had a member that, you know, helped us schedule it, and the information didn't get out like it needed to, and everyone was gone, and then it was, you know, it came back to us. So no worries. I said, you know what, moving forward, you know, it will actually be sent out. You guys are going to be aggravated with us because we're going to be like, okay, but guess what? All the council's getting this.
yeah.
But that helps too, because the more people that know, the idea is, you know, the more people you tell.
Well, it's
right?
kind of like this Vision 2030 and Vision 2020 when the whole thing, ball wax was finished up, and you look back at Vision 2020. It appears there was only 765 surveys returned out of, I don't know, there's 67,000 people in Kershaw County. I don't know how many surveys were sent out and all. And it concerns me that we are getting biased results, that we may be getting the illusion of a majority consent. That's just one of my concerns.
Do you know what 2030 vision plan is? That was of Kershaw County alone. Yeah, it was just, where do you see, this was, Jeff, it came out about 8 years ago? I was on the chamber then.
2015, 2016,
Yeah, I was president
right
of the
in
chamber,
there.
yeah. Well, they did what he's talking about, but she's talking about a different survey.
Yeah,
Right,
but
right.
the same thing applies.
Right.
If you're not taking a big enough cut of population, your results are skewed to the bias in one way, shape, or form, good, bad, or indifferent.
Right. What the county did is they had a big thing. Do you want more parks? Do you want more this, sewer, you name it? And people rated it where they wanted it, that kind of thing. And I'm not. And Jeff is right. What he's saying. A lot of people that they put it out there. They kind of put it out there, and some people, I'm too busy to fill it out, and others, I don't have time. There need to be different venues where they can maybe do it. But a lot of people that filled that thing out were, I would say, public utility type workers and stuff like that filled it out, that worked for the county.
Okay.
So, but just one thing that was pretty good when we built our schools here, I thought actually the schools, you know, in my opinion, did a pretty good job of saying we're going to be talking about the Camden School, Lugoff School, or whatever. You can come and look at this design, this design,
Right.
this design. Again, it wasn't a floodgates of people there, but it was out there a lot more, you know, parents and
They
stuff.
did
you
a
know.
lot better job of
A lot better job.
pushing that we were having this.
Right.
That little notice in the Camden Comical, I don't buy the rag,
Yeah.
but I have informants, so to speak.
Right. But anyway, that's what, so anyway, it was just one of those, what I'm thinking as a COG member is that representative that I found out Friday, and they were trying to put it together, and I knew immediately with city council and county council, we talked about it, that here we go. But I was, again, I wanted to come here and learn, like, I didn't know what it was about, and now I learned something, then you just repeated it, you know, and filled me in. But Sammy and Jeffrey Graham were telling me, John, this is by law, and you know, this is what we kind of do. And if someone needs, hey, I want a highway here, or I want another something to do with water, sewer, utilities, or hey, we got an area that people need feeding,
Right.
you know, an apartment, all that kind of stuff, or you know, we got a stretch of people that DHEC is getting, you know, low scores on or something. I don't, you know, but as far as that, so I learned a little bit of something
This
here.
all the comprehensive planning and everything flows out of the swamp in '96 under Bill Clinton, under the Comprehensive Planning Act of '96, and the federal funds were then tied to the state had to start implementing, and that's how it
And this is
flows
what
back
this
down.
is, right?
And that's what this comes.
Yeah, okay.
And you know, when the
Yeah.
Council of Governments was put in place and everything, they wanted regional planning, and
Right.
so they tied that to funds that you needed to be inside of a COG. And that's how they started getting regional control of all the funds coming in, because now the state starts dumping it in there, and that's how it starts coming out, and you got to go pick at the trough of whatever the legislatures decide is important.
Right.
And so, you know, depending on which way the political winds flow is where the manna, you know, comes down from heaven. And then they're and then they're robbing our great grandchildren to pay for it.
Yeah.
And does this ultimately lead us to a fascist state or a socialist state? I'm not sure which, but it's one of those two. Because then we got public-private partnerships. So that's a blending.
Yeah.
Whatever which way you want to say, incestuous blending of public-private entities. We see that with Twitter and all those kind of things right now, you know. So we're marching that way, and they use it in a good fashion. They sell it to you in good stuff, like industrial parks are going to bring good jobs and all, like slaughtering chickens and stuff. You know, those are really good jobs. But, you know, and then where you want to develop. And this is going to be housing areas, but this right here is going to be industrial and everything. And then if you go back and look at H.W. Bush and what he did in '94 in Rio, signing us up for the Green New Deal, basically, Agenda 21, that's when they brought in the soft policy with Bill Clinton and everything to get this comprehensive planning and everything else.
Gotcha.
So,
Well,
Yeah,
But-
and it goes, you know, it goes for not just the comprehensive planning, but water,
everything.
yeah, any old dilapidated houses in the neighborhood that, you know, maybe there's bad history there or some bad stuff happening there.
Like crack
there's a lot of
houses and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
And-
but the thing about it is, so I get approached a lot by people, and they're, where do you work? And I tell them where I work, and they're like, well, y'all didn't tell us. Nobody said that y'all were doing this, or nobody said that somebody was doing this, right? And I'm always like, did you put your input in? You know. Well, nobody told me I could put my input in. You know, and
Yeah.
I always explain to them. So the way we advertise for these, that's even governed. We have to do it, you know, so many days prior to the meeting. You know, it's got to be in the paper, or it could be posted anywhere. You know, that's actually governed as well. And I always tell them, there's an opportunity for you to speak, right? Whether it's at the meeting or whether, you know, you're getting a survey. You know, we can do the paper survey. If you want me to email it to you, I can email it to you. And I'm not saying it's got to be turned in tomorrow, but turn it in.
right.
Turn it back into us, because that's your voice. And that the thing that we're really working on this year is making sure that we get the word out there to the community. Because I will say this, sometimes the local government has a plan, right? However, if the local government has a plan, and it's the CDBG grant, the EDA grant, guess what? Your community still gets to understand what's going on, because requirement by CDBG, EDA is, guess what? When you apply for the grant, you have to have a public hearing, right? If you make a major change in that grant, you have to have a public hearing. When you close the grant, you have to have a public hearing. And in these public hearings, you're advising what was done, right? What was changed, what amount of money did they request? At the end, what amount of money did they use? Like it's never hidden, right? But we're really, really trying to make sure that we are getting the community, you know, into understanding what's going on and having their voice. I will definitely tell you, for Kershaw County, when we did the public hearing, it was like, I still have to write a document after that public hearing saying this is the first need, right, of the community.
Right.
This is the second need of the community. You think I had a second and third need? Nope. Only one need. That was the fire truck. Because nobody came out and said anything. But it's not just Kershaw
Well,
County.
that's
It's every
since
place,
I've been
you know.
messing with this whole snafu organization, I found that the $64 billion question is, how the hell do you get people off their butt and come to any of it? If you could figure that out, if you could figure that one out right there, I'd own an island down in the Caribbean. or
I
something.
think we might get you that island.
Now, did you know, you're sitting here nice and quiet. You were DHEC and stuff. And you said, what were you with the Kershaw Coalition?
Live Well Kershaw. coalition. So it's a Healthy People, Healthy Carolina community. Kershaw County is, and the director works out of the Community Medical Clinic of Kershaw County. Her name's Catherine Johnson. You guys are familiar?
Well, you told me you were
Yeah.
telling me her. Yeah, I don't think I don't know her, but
Yeah. So what the plan is, it's for them to implement health strategies to improve the health outcomes of the citizens of Kershaw County. They did a community health needs assessment. That was kind of like what you guys are talking about. How do you get people involved? How do you get people to fill out the surveys? You need to. It's not so much as this is what we're going to do, but what do you need?
Right.
And so.
is that kind of like through the Department of Aging a little bit, or
No, sir.
no? It's kind of okay.
No, it's actually funded through the Duke Endowment. So
Okay.
it's communities that are underserved in some way, or rural communities, and just really strategizing to see what we can do to improve the health of those residents that reside there. So, yeah, they've done a community needs assessment. They're about to do a community health improvement plan. They've done one that just expired 2022. So they're about to kick off their 2023 community health needs, community health improvement plan, and they've chosen 3 priorities. Housing is one of the priorities here in Kershaw County. Mental health is another, and resilient children and families. So yeah, I hope.
Was the endowment a participant in the bicycle path and greenway plan of a number of years ago?
I believe so.
That was incorporated in Vision 2030.
Yeah.
And that
From
was
Elgin to Lugolf, that
when you looked at
path.
that, when you looked at that survey, the questions were designed to get a preconceived outcome, and the answers gave you the same outcomes. So it was kind of misleading the way it was presented. I found Vision 2030 survey to be the same way.
I didn't just again, that was a Kershaw home thing. Just me, my opinion, not from a COGS perspective, but I thought the survey was already kind of outdated, and it took a while. And some people treated it publicly like the Bible, and publicly what of needs, where this things change so fast.
Right.
And that's what, me being even in my business, things change like that. Even our corporate headquarters, they do a strategic plan. Remember, strategic plan used to be 10 years. It's 5 years or even 3 years. It changed, and I just thought the 2030 got way too out there, and some people try to go exactly by it the whole way, where in 24 months, you've seen it in what you do, it can change like that. And anyway, so I just thought it was a little an outdated form of how to do things. And I think if we can get the word out. Oh, this is Linda Jackson.
Hi, Linda. I'm Jeff.
Jeff.
Good to meet you.
Robin.
Thank you.
So he is our county reporter, so to speak. He is
I told you what I am.
he's Batman. Yeah, well, yeah, yeah. But anyway,
Every county needs one.
yeah, Jeff. He's already spoken at county council a little while ago. I watched him. But anyway, but I think like getting the word out, because things happen so fast now. They are so, what you might be so planned to do something. And that's one thing you guys, and I'm trying to learn when I hear, and Sammy told me, John Tucker, John, we got money for blah blah, or Manning's got this, or we're trying to do this in Lee County or something. Okay, well, when can we start on that? 8 years. But it's DOT, and boy, and I get it, but it's incredible.
It's amazing we ever got to the moon, huh?
Right. But it was a priority. But anyway, I didn't know. I just but I know that I think this is good if just Y'all do Facebook and
We do. So it will be posted on Facebook when we reschedule it. We'll have it posted on Facebook. Do we do it on any other one, or is it just Facebook?
We do the Facebook and also the newspaper, of course.
Okay, yeah. The
And then
newspaper.
they have it posted in councils, like whenever you walk into wherever your administrative building.
yeah.
Yeah,
If- if-
you know how much people read
Yeah.
that?
well, that's what I.
Well, yeah, that's what we're seeing.
And that's
First thing I read is, oh, shit.
Yeah, exactly. And so also we have every representation in our county from the public, private sector, like with Mr. Thomas on our council, and then we have our council members. So my new thing is everything that we do in each county, that's our biggest advocate. So we just have to utilize our board members more because of, you know, you think about Facebook, you think about the papers, you think about, like you said, who reads that. But we have people, representation in every county on our board. So now really putting a push on them. And it's not for...
It should be their
yeah, and it should be.
responsibility.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Should have been their
Because the
responsibility.
masses was, you know, they're not...
Give away free subs.
Yeah.
They
they're not the ones...
100,000 people here.
to be at the meeting, and it's not for them, it's for you to get it to the word out to your people.
Yeah.
So that's our new spin this year on it, hoping that it works. And as you can see, Mr. John was an advocate. We thank you so much. It's just the timing collided with what else was going on.
Yeah, we talked about
I can
Mary
understand.
retiring.
I can understand.
And he got. You say the paper? I know the Chronicle. Do y'all do the Elgin News or Bethune? I don't even know what the Bethune paper
I don't
is.
either.
But do y'all do anything? Because Kershaw County is a lot like the state of Florida.
Yeah,
So much is in South Florida,
yeah.
but the square miles is
we don't have to
incredible in Kershaw County. And then you got Bethune up there in Tallahassee. You know, I mean,
Well, I tell you,
I mean, it is. I mean, it really,
It is.
it really, and they kind of get left out a lot. you know?
But I tell you
Liberty
about-
Hill Way,
Liberty Hill.
that whole
but,
upper side. of
Kershaw
it.
County is massive.
Yeah.
But I tell you about, from my experience, and because we are a government agency with grant funding, when I try to do things with Bethune, there's a fee. When everyone else, it's public notice and it's free.
Yeah.
So if you know anybody at that paper,
Yeah.
because and it's
Well, that's a matter of public interest, so I would think that Martin wouldn't charge for something.
oh yeah, I've been fighting that. That's how.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not, and I guess obviously it was free prior to me coming on board. That's what my McKinney prior to said that they used to, but I'm not sure if leadership changed, but it's no longer free.
Well, the dinosaur media is hurting for money.
And because, well, because of I wouldn't
Public
mind.
notice, like Jeff said, a public
Yeah.
notice. Maybe we
Yeah.
give some of the guys around here or something on here. We'll.
Because I wouldn't mind paying. It's just our funding won't allow it, so it's not like a private thing where. So that's what happened.
Oh, so the funding won't allow. Let's say it's $30 for a notice, and won't allow the. I'm just asking.
Well, no, because it's great, you know, because it's government. Yeah, it's public because you don't have to do that for any other
Right,
paper.
I got you.
So it would be hard. Now, if everybody did it, then of course
I see.
you have a reason to say validate why you're doing
Yeah.
it.
Now remember, Linda, I'm still learning. I was telling them, you know,
Yeah.
I'm still
We
learning.
can
So
we can do that.
Yeah.
We can do it now.
Yeah.
With the planning grant, we can actually
Good.
do that.
Okay.
So understanding, what paper did you say?
I'm not sure what
'Cause we
Jeff.
do-
I don't know.
I
what
have no
papers up
idea
there.
what
And
Bethune
it's
does.
but we've tried
We
with
do
a
the-
couple of
It's got to be something
We
up there, I
normally
guess.
do the-
I don't know.
yeah.
Chronicle, for
Chron-
Kershaw.
Chronicle and the
Chronicle.
Elgin News.
Yeah.
We don't have the Elgin
Oh.
News, but
That
if someone
that
could give
one's
us
got
that information, we could
really
use them
good
as well.
circulation.
I'll get her the information.
Yeah, give me the
I'll get her the
They'll
information.
print it for nothing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm,
that was
I'm
what
pretty
I-
sure that.
And that's their
Okay.
paper in the Elgin area is the Elgin News.
oh, okay.
It is
yeah, 'cause
very, yeah.
we
I mean,
we
what-
have it according to counties, basically.
Okay. Well, we'll work on
So
Well,
yeah,
Yeah, I saw
that'll
the
help
Sumter
too.
one, and I saw
Yeah.
when Danny first sent me the email, and I clicked on the hyperlink. It sent me to your link, but it was for the Sumter one. And then I sent him back. I said, I don't want to go to Sumter. Add something.
There you go. Good,
Well,
good.
Well, I'll get y'all that. They eat with me a good
Wonderful,
bit and
wonderful.
stuff like that. So I'll on that there,
Yeah,
we'll find.
that's
I'll try to ask or say, hey, what does Bethune have, and
Yeah.
if there's anything up that way, it doesn't hurt to ask and ask
It
them.
sure
Yeah.
doesn't. And then, how many people have Facebook? And the reason I say that is because we post it on Facebook. Anybody can share it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't do Facebook.
I check it in the morning, and I don't post puppy dog pictures or what I eat.
Because that's his.
Anyway, with my store, I can still talk about that too.
And you can post it if you would allow it to be posted.
Yeah. Yeah, we
would
got it.
absolutely
Now we
send
do
it
have
to you.
Facebook on my store, so I can.
Okay.
I don't think I'll check with Sandy. I don't see why they would have a problem with that.
Leg work always helps. It always helps me on bringing riots to the county council. You know?
Yeah.
It's a lot of leg work and putting it up in storefronts if they'll let me, but that always is effective.
And that's what I live in Clarendon County, and I work with the COG. So anything that is for Clarendon County, I do that. The laundromat, like the traffic where it needs to be,
Yeah.
because it's just going in there doing it, and I know where I can post things. But when it comes to other counties like here, I have to learn to see what we can do,
you know
because
what's
that's the
funny?
best way.
You know the
Yeah,
hot
oh, yeah,
spots.
yeah.
You know the hot spots.
There you go.
What's funny is I'm sitting here as an anarchist trying to do away with the council of governments and all this stuff over here, and I'm discussing how in the hell y'all gonna get more people involved. Ain't that something?
But in order for me to make it better and to tell what we do, I have to be on the ground doing things like this to understand what's needed and what's not needed, because it's very important. And the other thing about it, take with our aging department, with our council on age, we have an aging department of HHS, so we work a lot with council on aging, a lot of aging. A lot of funding is here for that certain reason. But when you don't utilize the funding, what do you think happens to it?
Lose it.
You lose the funding.
Yeah, that's always
So-
the argument, or somebody
Well,
else is
and
gonna
it's
get my
because,
money.
but the thing about it is because when we have things, people don't come. We can't come to your house, but we can come to a mutual spot and expect for you to meet us there. So the community itself has to do a better job. When I was growing up, it was a church. Now it's not that any longer. And that's just honestly speaking.
No, that's,
Oh, yeah,
that's true.
yeah.
I
You
know
know,
church too. Yeah.
So that's why.
It just came off the session.
Yeah,
that is
that's- yeah.
absolutely
That's
true.
another reason we're
Right.
seeing
So
the
that's why.
downfall.
So that's why a lot of agencies like ours, because we're for. I mean, literally, we're not for people that probably don't the rich. We're not.
Yeah.
So, but the people that need it the most are not at your typical meetings, but they are at church. So now you got to figure out where are those people, which is why you hear me say laundromat, because that's where they are. So we have to meet them where they are. But our people that are voted in, they still got to do a better job. That's why my thing, you're on our board for that reason. Now you got to help the cause. So I'm challenging
You're a
them.
PR man too.
Yeah, I'm challenging them. Right. So I'm challenging them to help the cause. So, but that's the thing. And the other side about it, even though you're set with this amount that you get per quarter per year, the more people use your services, you're gonna get more. So you get upset when you run out of money. Well, the only way to keep it coming is you gotta be in the room. You gotta be. So it's a lot behind it.
Well, I think
And
this
It's
is a.
grown and grown
Yeah.
over the years.
Well, I
When it
think-
first started, it didn't
Yeah.
have that big a
Right.
footprint.
Well,
That was in the 70s, I think, here.
yeah. Well, with our COG, you know, and there's a little competition within the COG,
Yeah.
you know, of our counties, but you know, to me, the Midlands is the undiscovered country. Well, they're discovering it in a hurry. We've seen it here in Kershaw County, what's happening in the last year or two, all the houses.
Well, look at the last 10 years because of the low interest rates.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's
It-
driving it, but
but-
that's also the Federal Reserve and the Congress.
Right, but it's
So-
coming, and I've lived in Charleston 11 and 12 years, and I still go down there a good bit on some things. And Charleston, we used to sit there and look at Somerville was out in the boonies, kind of, you know, you're kind of just at the gateway. Man, it's 30 miles up the road back toward Columbia. Look at I-20 and I-95. They have got to do something there, and they're trying to do something down there and going toward Savannah with the roads, making it, they're talking 6 lanes. But I really believe, just like Lexington exploded and all that area, people are moving from to here. There's a big article I read the other day talking about people are from the coast are actually moving back inland. They're tired of the stress of hurricanes.
Yep.
There are people that are actually leaving, starting to leave California. Now Texas is getting a bunch of people.
Yes.
But here in South Carolina, the way I look at the possibility of the COG here of trying to help us with these growing pains that we've got is that I really believe from Clemson Road to almost Florence is the undiscovered country. And it's the last of the frontier.
And that's part of the 20 corridor.
Right.
2095 corridor.
It's going to
right
explode.
there.
Yeah, it's exploding like Lexington and upstate and all that. And one thing that you said, the Department of Aging, that, and I'll tell y'all, I'm a Reaganite, okay? But one thing that's coming that they're talking about, I'm a baby boomer, I just made it, you know, in 62, it's from 64.
Oh, you're a child.
Right, but they're talking about trying to feed people. And that is going to be, you know, my parents went into a nursing home, and me and my brother, we paid for it, and my mom and dad saved for it. But they're going to be thousands of people that can't go into a nursing home, that you've got to get them food somehow. It really is shocking to me that you look at, for example, just throwing one way out there, that the age group of China that are my age are going to be more than the young people of China. You know, and it's like that in the United States too.
Yeah,
It's-
we're not reproducing.
Right. It's a lot. It's a flop lot.
We're
you
like
know?
1.7.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So I've never, ever in a million years ever thought about Department of Aging. Because, you know, hey, I'm 30, I'm 40, you know, now I'm 60, he's thinking about, but that's why I think there's several things that happen. I think that we are, as conservative as I am, I think we're on a crisis of about 10 years from now. There's going to be, and we deal with
It's
that.
that full.
Huh?
I don't think it's that full.
Yeah, you're probably right, Jeff. But
The World Economic Forum says we'll own nothing, be happy, and eating damn bugs by 2030.
yeah, but
Them people are nuts,
I
and everybody up yonder is with them.
But I think there's going to be a main thing on the table. We're not talking about it as a state and all that, but I really believe that this is about to become a huge topic in our country, and also in the state of South Carolina, and also in the Midlands. I never even thought about it 2 years ago. Never even dreamed about it. And y'all hadn't talked to me about it. Really. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I know the
we're like,
Department of
what?
Aging, but you're starting to
It's
read
coming.
this stuff. So,
We have a workshop in Manning tomorrow, Department of Aging, because we have an RFP out for our Council on Aging. So they're coming to do a workshop in the community. The whole idea is to bridge the gap with churches or organizations that are already working with the agencies, the agent to come together and be able to, the food and showing them how they can make this work where it doesn't have to sit in one part of the town, that it could be across the county. But you got to educate people, because you got a lot of churches that have a lot of senior things going, but they don't ever think about tapping into Department of Aging to get funding to do more. So that's what our workshop is about tomorrow.
well, I'll tell you what, I can.
There's a number of churches around here that coordinate days that they're going to feed. My sister volunteers over at Blaney Baptist, and they do it on on Wednesday. Yeah, they do it on Wednesday, and another church does it on, and they feed about 350 right now.
Because the idea is you have council on aging, but a lot of people are not doing council on aging. Before, everybody relied on council on aging. So now you're trying to get everyone to work together so it can be spread across, because the people that probably need it the most are not at the council on aging.
I could envision that us having a plant, what I mean, a manufacturing, and all they do is make to-go meals.
Well,
And
be
you put
kind of
them
like
on
the airlines.
Right, and you put them on 18-wheelers, and I was in transportation and shipping at one time. I'm talking about within the state right here, and they deliver to a depot, and you have a UPS truck pull up to your house, and it's got the meals, and they're delivering maybe 300 meals that day.
Well, you have an
I could
organization.
envision
That's what
seeing
they
that.
did in Soylent Green. Soylent Green.
What is the secret of Soylent Green? New York City, in the year 2022. Nothing runs anymore. Nothing works. But the people are the same. And the people will do anything to get what they need.
This is the police.
What they need most is Soylent Green.
The supply of Soylent Green has been exhausted. Return to your home.
What is the secret of Soylent Green?
Tell everybody. Listen to me, Hatcher. You gotta tell them Soylent Green is people. We gotta stop them somehow.
Remember that movie? Look it up when you get home.
Someone's already doing that, and actually they're out of Oklahoma, and a lot of their contracts are in South Carolina because it's not being done, and it's called Mom's Meal.
Yeah.
So they're being drop shipped
Yeah,
to.
I got you. Yeah.
They're being drop shipped to seniors' houses, and it's already happening. And they're partnering or contracting with local vendors, but they're out of Oklahoma because it's not being done in your state. But
Right. And there's not enough nursing homes and stuff to handle it, or you can't afford it, you know.
And the whole idea too, I mean, even because of not being a lot of enough nursing homes, the whole idea is what the state and even what the Senate governor doing all you can to keep the seniors in their homes. Not to go to the nursing home.
Right.
Yeah, not to overload.
Not to right.
Flatten the curve, y'all.
And it's longevity in life for seniors too. But you gotta but in order for it to work, communities have to jump on.
Right.
You know, the plan is there and the layout is there, but and I'm not saying this in a negative way, why you sitting here talking about the fire station tonight? There's a lot of need here
Yeah.
that you're not even addressing.
Well, the fire station got to be talked about anyway.
No, but look what brings people out. Would you have that crowd if you were talking about this?
If there wasn't a controversy, okay? I've been
He knows.
one of 5 people in here
Yeah.
at the council meeting.
Yeah.
Of course, I've been one of 600 in there before, and that was again because of a immediate crisis.
Yeah.
Never let a good crisis go to waste. Somebody was famously said.
That'll bring you out.
Yeah,
It will.
and this was a misstep of procedure and openness and transparency by government, our benevolent servant, to do its thing. And those missteps caused the crisis.
But let me tell
It
you,
wouldn't have otherwise
because
been.
I go to a lot of council meetings, and I'm going to tell you what could have helped. And just like what you're saying, before you get to this, you have 3 readings. So if you had every meeting, it wouldn't even get this far.
Well,
but I'm just being real.
Yeah.
I'm just being three
I'll-
of them.
I'll set
And
a
so
little
that
bit.
would be, if it was me, that would be my pushback.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing gets approved without the readings.
Yeah,
But if you show up at the meetings
Yeah, yeah.
and you inform, you could stop it at this, cut it off there.
Yeah.
In this particular case.
And that's what councils are faced with.
Yeah, and-
you know, you come in the end when it's too late, and maybe we did make a mistake.
Yeah.
Because obviously somebody made a mistake.
Yeah.
But if the community do what they should do and hold them accountable, at the first, they had 3 readings.
Yeah, it was a 3.
Where were you at the first,
was-
the second, and the third?
I was there. I was there for
Jeff
all
was there.
3. I was there for all 3.
But what you
But-
should have done, but you're here tonight. So if you're gonna be at all 3, why you even at the first one to go out there and tell them, hey, you know this about the bill in front of y'all? So you could have been here and stop it. And that's what I'm saying. People get information, but they don't spread it,
Well,
whether it's good or bad.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's how I'm sitting here tonight.
Incomplete.
It's like, how you at this point? And somebody got a problem with this being at 100 feet. They got 3 readings.
Yeah, it was. let me just qualify that. I'll qualify that one with. It was a overall plan
Yeah.
for all of Kershaw County, but none of the details on the position of that building up at Cassett that was on that plan. All that was there was we are going to build one. We're gonna build one in Cassett, but it never showed.
You know what
up.
I mean? I'll get your
It was
email
good
so we'll
meeting
know
you.
the reschedule. Good.
I love to sit down and talk a little bit.
Yeah. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
guys so
Oh, you got a card.
Thank you.
Let me have one.
you.
Yeah.
My cards are in the box that we gave to the council.
Thank you so much.
Chairwoman.
Thank you guys. Y'all have a good evening.
Mean thing, I'm at the sub shop in Lugoff.
And I love
He makes a good. He
There you go. It worked out.
makes a good number 19.
And you know your location, because we're looking for like what's called community tables, and with community partners. So we have tables inside of businesses or places that have all of our services there, and things like this. When there is a meeting, then the people, it will be on that community table.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got a thing there to put that, we can put that, but I need to move 1 or 2 things, but
Good,
yeah, we've always
okay.
had that.
We were going to connect with, I think they told me the library. It was 2 other places that they gave me to connect here, but I didn't think about your place.
But
Do you mind if I get my sub by chance?
no, you're hungry.
What time is
Well,
the count?
we can do. What else do we need to do? You got a copy of a survey or where they got it down there? Oh hell, I gotta wait until they're done.
Is it in the county council meeting?
Who'd you give it to? Danny?
I believe I gave it to the chairwoman.
Oh,
Oh,
Katie?
okay, to
Yeah,
Katie.
I think
She's
so.
got them,
So
okay.
she's got a whole stack of them probably.
She's got a
Okay.
stack like that.
Good.
She's got the needs assessment survey and the citizen participation.
So I need
plan.
2 things.
Should be a napkin, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I think there's a bottle of
She
water.
should have some of my cards in there too.
Cool
So you
deal.
can get my card
Cool,
too.
cool.
Yep.
Maybe I can come over and we can sit around and chit and
No, I
chat
didn't
one
know
day or
anything,
something.
but I saw him.
Yeah. Hey, the more everybody knows, agree, disagree, or whatever,
Absolutely.
it is the best that we can hope for.
And we need, thank you for being involved. That's good.
He's involved.
10 years, let's see, it was 2011, I sold my last house, and I said, I'm done, I'm tired of fooling with it anymore, and I got a job that doesn't pay, and that's doing this.
That's good.
Are you ready to?
It doesn't pay. But, what the hell?
Need you though. That's much needed.
Well,
It's 7.
I try to be somewhat objective, but I'm an opinionated rascal. So, but I try to be nice about it.
Gotta get
And,
pushback.
They get into a
and
big.
that way, you know. So what'd you think? Did you find any of that interesting? How they're all understood where I was coming from when I talk about how the money flows and the historic timeline of what took place with H.W. Bush and Bill Clinton and how this soft policy moves And they didn't really click about the World Economic Forum, and they really couldn't connect the dots. But in general, I think they could understand where I'm coming from. And I think that there are some agreements that we could reach, amongst all of us, that we no longer have the liberty that we had, and we're headed in the wrong direction. And maybe get new ideas about how to restrict, how to put the chains back on this beast, and get to the smallest government that you can possibly get to. The smaller the government, the larger the liberty. The larger government, the smaller liberty. And that is a critical thing that you need to understand. So I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, boys and girls, peace.